Hello everybody, what's going on? Jerome here, and welcome to another awesome mod showcase. This one was heavily recommended to me by you guys, and it literally is the Candy Dimension mod showcase. Hey everybody, what's going on? Jerome here, and welcome back for another awesome mod showcase. This one was in heavy demand, and it is actually the Candy Dimension mod. So pretty much it allows you to go to an entire new dimension dedicated to candy, ice cream, all sorts of fun things like that. So basically, it's all just for your sweet tooth. It's all sugary goodness, and I decided to try and show this one off because, like I said, it was in high demand, and I always like to read through those comments and take your suggestions. So without further ado, we have the Candy Dimension. Actually, we got Mini Bacca waiting for us to go there. Hey Mini Bacca, what's going on? Oh, well, hey, Jerome. I mean, this is probably the best mod we've ever done. I love candy. Look, I even got a lollipop in my hand right now. I can see that, Mini Bacca. That is a huge lollipop, actually. That's like almost the size of your arm. Well, hey, Jerome, I don't judge you on all the candy you eat all the time. I mean, I've seen your room. There's candy wrappers all over the place. Oh, all right, Bacca. Come on. We don't talk about that with everyone, okay? Just, jeez, my gosh. Sometimes it can be a little fearsome. But to start off, the way you get to the Candy Dimension is simple. You just need to craft a bunch of sugar blocks, and then instead of using a flint and steel on it like you would to get to the nether, you either use a bucket of caramel or a bucket of lava. Now the catch is, you can only get caramel buckets from the Candy Dimension. So unless you've been there before, the way you're going to craft it is simple. You take some sugar, you craft it into a nice little sugar block, make it in the shape of an obsidian portal, drop the lava on it, and you're ready to go. Now the funny part about it is whenever you jump through, you start off in the sky, and you go plummeting down to the ground, but luckily you don't take any fall damage. It gives you resistance, as you can tell, for like 15 seconds or so. So you don't die, you don't take any fall damage, you're all good, and we are here and ready to go. So I lined up everything for you. What the heck? Ethan the pig? But he's a miniature cow. Who are you? Well, hey, Jerome. Mini Bacca couldn't make it to the Candy Dimension, so I decided to be here for you. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you. I mean, did you set all this up? Of course I did, buddy. Mini Bacca always tells me how he does everything for you. Whoa, okay. I don't know. I wouldn't say Mini Bacca does everything for me, but jeez, man. I mean, what's with the voice anyway? What do you mean what's with the voice? Well, it's just kind of high-pitched, and never mind. We won't worry about that. But this right here is everything that the Candy Dimension has, and I'm even going to show you guys some awesome gingerbread villages, and even a quick little sneak peek at a dungeon that you guys can try out. So, first things first, these are the different types of trees that you can find in the dimension. They're all different. This one's chocolate. This one over here is a caramel leaf. This one over here is a white chocolate leaf. And then finally, we have the candy cherry trees. Now, the thing about all these is that the logs themselves that they give are just different types of marshmallows. So you have light marshmallow logs, dark marshmallow logs, regular marshmallow logs, and then, oh, did not mean to take the sweet grass, and then, nope, there we go. And boom, this one right here just gives you a regular old marshmallow log as well. So that's pretty much all they do. The candy one, however, can give you these little cherry drops here. They don't really do anything. They're just more for aesthetic appeal. So really, the trees, besides the marshmallow blocks, just look a lot better. And as you can tell by looking at those pigs, that's a candy cane pig over there, there's all sorts of cool mobs as well that we'll get into. So once you get all that, you can craft yourself a candy bed, which is the only way to set your spawn in the Candy Dimension. Otherwise, whenever you die, you'll be sent back to the overworld, wherever your spawn is, so it'll just kind of drop you off there. Next up, we have candy chests as well, which don't do anything special. They're just made using sugar, and they pretty much do the exact same thing as a regular chest, except they fit more with the theme of the Candy Dimension. You know, like when you got pudding blocks all over the place like this, a candy chest kind of looks a little bit more natural than does a regular old chest. So in this chest, we have all the different things that you can build. With the marshmallow items, you can build yourself marshmallow swords and different types of just, marshmallow utility items, I guess. And they all pretty much do the exact same thing as wood. They're pretty much exact ripoffs of wood. Then from there, you're also able to get licorice ore blocks that you can use to make licorice tools and swords, which have a +5 attack damage, which is just about the same if you type in over here. We go to iron. So we go to iron, it's +6. So it's basically like stone. So licorice is your new stone. There's no real other purpose to it. It looks cool. Next up, you have honeycombs, which I'll explain how to get honeycomb in a little bit. It's a little bit more complicated than simply mining up a honeycomb ore block, but they are a little more powerful, and that's more akin to your iron. As you can see, you have +6 damage, and you can also get honeycomb armor as well. I like the licorice armor because I just think the full-on black armor just looks a lot more swagalicious. So let me just put on some of it just so you guys can see what exactly this would look like under Main Bacca when you put him on. And look at that, all blacked out armor. He looks like a guardsman or something, like a king's guard. I'd stay away from him. Next up on the list, we have Pez, and the cool part about the Pez is that it's actually slightly better than his diamond. If you take a look, diamond swords would normally give +7 attack damage, but the Pez sword is +7.4. And the Pez armor also has a cool, unique kind of texture to it. So it's not just like it's like pure white. It actually has, as you can tell, a little bit of a texture to it. Other than that, though, it doesn't look that cool. I mean, it's decent at least. It's better than Diamond, so it has that going for it. Next on the list, we have an assortment of cool weapons. So we got the Caramel Bow and the Caramel Crossbow, and they use honey bolts and honey arrows, respectively. Now, besides that, they're only slightly better than are the regular old bows, so it's not like it's that much different, but they look cooler. As you can tell, look at that. It's a different color scheme, and you know, just, I don't know, I mean, it shoots out candy arrows as well. So it's pretty much just this Candy Dimension's unique response to things in the other world. So if you wanted to technically do a Let's Play just in this world, you could. You don't have to go back to the normal dimension. It has all the items here and replacement items for it as well, like the Caramel Bows. Apart from that, they also have a couple other cool things, like you can get Lollipops, and I'm going to explain how to make a lot of this candy in the future. So like the cranfish, I'll explain as well over in the other thing there. We also have Trampo Jelly boots, which help you on trampoline jelly blocks, which I'll get into as well. And of course, we have Chewing Gum Dynamite and Nougat Dynamite. So if you ever want to just blow things up, you can use these dynamites. They're not working for some reason. It might be because I'm in creative mode. Let me see. Either that or... Oh, wait, that's why I wasn't holding it down. So you hold it down, throw, it blows up just like that, and this is what the chewing gum one does. You ready? Hold on. Wait for it. Oh, it landed in water. Whoopsies. Has the same effect as TNT. If it lands in water, it doesn't blow up. But, as you can tell, relatively speaking, they do the exact same amount of damage. There's two different ways to craft dynamite. Cool little addition, if you ask me. I like the dynamite addition to it. And next up, we have candy doors, marshmallow doors, as well as marshmallow stairs, blocks. You can literally craft the marshmallow pretty much in the exact same way that you can craft any other kind of overworld item using logs. So whatever you're used to making in the overworld, just pretend it's like that, except with marshmallow blocks. See, literally exactly the same. Even have the same break duration as do regular logs. They just look more candy-ish. I mean, that's the whole point of this mod anyway. But now onto the more technical side of things, we have licorice ore blocks, which are all spread out throughout the world with about the same rarity as is diamond. All these items are about the same rarity as iron, not diamond. All of them are pretty much like that. So you have the jelly platforms like I just showed you that actually kill you if you don't land on them properly. There's jelly ore blocks, and then finally we also have Pez ore blocks, but we'll get to those in a quick second here. So, as you can tell, you take a lot of fall damage there. It was kind of an accident. It was not really a purposeful launch. I didn't mean to do that. And then from there, you can take the licorice ore and not just make items with it, but if you so choose, you can actually make licorice brick blocks and licorice stone as well. It looks really cool. It's kind of like a black quartz, almost, if you will. So you can make black quartz-ish blocks using it, and then also, it's kind of like a blackened nether brick. So it's whichever one you want, really. You can do it for a lot of cool things. Next up on the list, we have candy cane blocks, which you just simply take candy canes you can find all around the world. You know, you can break up these little grass things. There's candy cane everywhere, pretty much. You can make them into candy cane blocks, fences, and they look really cool. And they even have a stone wall edition. So the same way you craft a stone wall, you can do that with candy cane and make a wall out of it instead of a fence if that fits your theme a little better. And now, finally, onto some more fun stuff that I like the most is the jelly ore. Now, the jelly ore, there's two different kinds. I'm going to go into creative mode for this. The green kind, which launches you up pretty dang high. Then, if you go over to the red one launches you up even higher. It's slightly better, and it's also just a different color in case you want to do that theme. And the blue one doesn't launch you at all. Actually, what the blue one is used for is if you land on it, it softens your fall so that you don't die. So if you're in survival, we'll try it out. Let's see if we can nail it. I mean, I hope I don't miss, but we might end up missing here. We gotta get a little lucky, which is why normally you make a whole big platform of the blue ones. Yeah, otherwise that usually ends up happening. But if you land on the blue, it absorbs the fall damage for you, so you can make really cool jump spots to your different hideouts, everything like that. It's a pretty sick little addition. So there's that much. Let me just re-put on the Pez armor for the third time this episode. There we go. Move on. So, oh, God, no, we don't want to die again. There we go. Creative mode. Next up on the list, we have the candy factories. We have Sugar Factory and Advanced Sugar Factory. Now, the Advanced Sugar Factory moves quicker than does the regular Sugar Factory, so there's no reason not to use it when you're crafting any kind of sugar-based thing. The only catch to it is, however, is that the regular Sugar Factory is able to cook up different items, such as honeycomb items, and other things that I'll get into as well in this list, and Pez ore, but the Advanced Sugar Factory isn't. The Advanced Sugar Factory literally can only deal in sugar-based items. So it's kind of like, this one is faster with sugar, but this one has a wider variety of items that it can cook up. And some of these items that you can cook up in the regular old Sugar Factory that are exclusive to it and not the advanced one are the fries to got a flower, which becomes a honey shard, the chocolate block, which will become a chocolate coin, the honeycomb block, which will become a honeycomb, the golden sugar flower, which will become a gold nugget, and the nougat block, which will become a nougat head. And just so you guys can kind of see exactly how that works, all you do is put that in there. Doesn't use any fuel source at all. Once you build the sugar factories, they work for you just infinitely. I can literally put 100 things in there. It'll just keep on working. And then, dun 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 dun, boom, we get a chocolate coin. Now, the advanced sugar factor, as I said before, will take pretty much any kind of sugary item that you can think of. If you put pudding in there, for instance, it'll just make sugar. Basically, the idea is, if it isn't expressly said in this mod showcase, assume that what it'll craft is sugar. Like, literally, whatever you put in there, just assume that the end craft item is sugar, unless otherwise specified. So there you go. You get sugar that way. You can also just easily get sugar from sugar canes. It's the same type of sugar, which is how in the overworld you're able to build the sugar portal without getting here first. Next up on the list, we have a sugar furnace, which is used to cook up all sorts of cool items, which are right over here. So pretty much what you do is, with the sugar furnace, you put sugar in there as your fuel source instead of coal. Works very much so the same way. And then you take anything in this top row and you place it in there, and you'll get whatever's in the bottom row. So if you have a caramel bucket, you can use it to get a caramel block, which it just looks aesthetically appealing and is also used in making caramel glass. So just so you guys can see, that's what a caramel block looks like. Pretty cool. So you can make that. Next up, if you have a jelly ore, you cook it to make Trampo Jelly. If you have Trampo Jelly, you cook it to make red Trampo Jelly. And if you cook the red Trampo Jelly, you get the Jelly Shock Absorber, which is the blue Trampo Jelly, basically. From there, you can also do chocolate cobblestone, which you can find all throughout the mine shafts. Literally, they're like everywhere. So there's a chocolate block there. If you go mining, you'll find all these resources just spread out. Like, look, there's licorice ore right there. They're not really that super rare, which makes the mod a little bit more fun to play, because you don't have to always be concerned with that, you know. And also over here, if you look, flower blocks work much the same as do dirt blocks, and then the grass blocks become pudding blocks, basically. So pretty much, if you can imagine it in the overworld, it's in this world as well, just in a different form. Next up on the list, we have honeycomb blocks, which, once again, the only way to get honeycomb blocks is by using honeycombs, and the only way to downgrade them is in the sugar factory. Once you do that, though, you can get a honey lamp, which actually works as a nice little light source. So if you're looking for a unique light source, you can get a honey lamp, which looks cool. I have no clue why honey lights up, but it does in this mod. You can also use sugar blocks as another way to get caramel blocks. So you can either use caramel buckets or sugar blocks, and you get caramel blocks that way. Next up, we have Pez ore, which I showed over there. And Pez ore creates Pez, which can be used to craft the armor that I am wearing at this moment, and the different utility items. Like I said, Pez is a little more rare because it is technically stronger than his diamond. Now, next on the list, you can also take gummies and cook them to get cooked gummies, or you can catch cranfish by fishing, and you get cooked cranfish. Apart from that, you have pudding and flour blocks, as I said before, and this is what a licorice ingot, quote-unquote, will look like from the licorice ore block. Now, not only that, there are different biomes as well in this mod, for instance, such as the ice cream biome, which will make all sorts of cool ice cream items. So you can get strawberry ice cream blocks, you can get all different colors of them, and you can craft them into different types of staircases. So you got like blue, green, strawberry, and what I'm assuming looks vanilla, it's white. I'm colorblind, so I mean, go figure. I don't actually know what color that is. It might be a lightish blue. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to help here. Ooh, take a look at this real quick. That right there, the cookie creeper. It's pretty cool. Watch what happens when you agitate him too. We'll blow him up. We'll get him to ignite. Here we go. Want to blow up for me, buddy? And boom, blows up all the same, takes a lot of damage to you. Pretty much, he is identical to a regular creeper, but he's made of cookies, and what's not to love about that? And if you kill him, you might even get some cookies yourself, too, which is pretty unique instead of gunpowder. Next up on the list, we have all the different mobs that you can find in here. We're not going to spawn in all of them, but we'll spawn in a good chunk of them real quick. Let me just, and then we'll take out some of these. We'll just go, oh, we could technically spawn in all these. It doesn't really matter too much, so there we go. So these are pretty much all the mobs that you'll find in the mod itself. We have the Strawberry Jelly Egg. That's actually an aggressive mob, who, as you can tell, blows up. We have the Cotton Candy Spider, just this mod's response to a regular old spider. Gingerbread Villager, and we'll see villagers in a second. I'm going to show you guys what a Gingerbread Village looks like. We have the Gummy Bunny. We have the Choco Dog. Look at that. It's like a cooler wolf. We have Surguards right here, which will spawn in multiples of them, and they actually protect you. They're good. They're not bad creatures. They're good creatures. There's another Sugar Guard. There's the Mage Sugar Guard, which spawns in a bunch. Regular Sugar Guard. Cookie Creeper, which we already saw. Candy Cane Pig. And now we'll just dump all these, and we'll move all these down to this row. Next on the list, we have the Lemon Jelly. He's kind of cool looking. A Caribou Bee. Beetle King. The Beetle King's actually a mini-boss, who you'll see in a second. The Blueberry Dragon. The Jelly King himself, who's not a mini-boss, that is a real boss. He's very difficult to kill. We have Licorice Beetle. We have the Ice Cream Penguin, who can be found in ice cream biomes. Chewing Gum Beetles. And the Gingerbread Man Surguard. So we have a lot of cool ones, and there's even more as well. Here, spawn those in. And also, guys, remember, click that like button if you're enjoying this. These mod showcases do take a while to set up, but they're awesome, and hopefully you learn about a cool new feature in Minecraft that you never knew before. I mean, I don't know about you, I love doing these, and they're awesome to look at. And look at that. See, look, marshmallow flowers instead of lily pads. Really cool. So we have Nessie, who is a water-type mob. There's the Jelly Queen Egg, which is basically a mini-boss of the Jelly King. It's not as strong, but still very powerful with 300 health. That right there is a mint jelly. He just loves flopping around. Cranfish, who you should spawn in the ocean if you really want him to swim around. If you want to be cruel, you can spawn him on land like that and just sits there. A Waffle Packa. So the Waffle Packa, if you kill him enough times, will drop waffle items, which is an edible food item in the game. And then we have the Pez Jelly Egg, who's a little bit weaker than the Queen, who's a little bit weaker than the King. So pretty much you can find those in various dungeons. Now, before we jump in to the different dungeons, which can all be found in here, I'm going to probably go ahead and go to a Gingerbread Village. So Gingerbread Villages can spawn in 3 different locations: above ground, below ground, and in the sky. So you can find them on the ground right there. That's kind of cool. But my favorite ones I found that I marked off is this one right here in the sky. It literally just spawned up there naturally, just like this. So if you look up, you might find some of these up there. This one happens to be a smaller one. It only comes with a single Gingerbread Man. But if you trade with them, you could trade Pez and even in some cases chocolate coins as well, for all sorts of random rare candy items like the Rainbow Record or the Elder Emblem, which I'll get into in a second, or even a Sky Dungeon key. So there's all sorts of keys that you can do to get to the boss dungeons. It's the only way to find them. And then, of course, he grows some nice crops here, which survival mode you can break up, and you can get Dragobus, which is pretty much used mostly as an edible food item, and of course you can put them on a fishing rod, much akin to how a carrot on a fishing line works, and use it to attract candy pigs. Apart from that, she's got a cool little house. I mean, I don't know, it's nice. I like it. Pretty cool. But this part right here is really cool because I'm going to show you guys what an entire Gingerbread Man Village looks like. And we found one underground. It took us a little while to find because they're, like I said, underground randomly. So you kind of got to go searching for a while. The best way to find them, honestly, is if you run to a location quick enough and you have your render distance low enough, you could see it underground before it fully renders in. Those right there are randomly spawned as well. They pretty much just have a random aggressive mob that spawns there. Nothing too difficult to kill, but just spawn if you want to grind XP or something, or grind a particular item that you may find. And over in this direction, as I said before, we're eventually going to hit where I had marked off a sick Gingerbread Village that's just hidden away in the deep abyss underground. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, everybody, so I finally found the location of the Gingerbread Village underground, and take a look at this. It's a pretty much exactly what you expect, an entire Gingerbread Village with tons of little villagers that run around. You could trade with them, once again, for either chocolate coins or in some cases Pez, to get all sorts of cool different candy cane mod items. Stop running! Don't run away from me! Come here, Gingerbread Man. You can't catch me on the Gingerbread Man. Oh, yes, I can. There you go. See, fork, lollipop seeds, all sorts of cool things. Raspberry chains, mints. Basically, any non-craftable item, you can trade them for. And it's really cool. And then, of course, each village comes with a Gingerbread Man Surguard with 400 health, which is a lot more than you'd think. See, a normal punch only does 1 damage. So, he's considered a mini-boss. He's, in reality, probably should be considered a full boss. He's pretty powerful. He's even better than the Jelly Queen. And then finally, that leads us off to the best part about this mod, which is the dungeons. And I'm going to leave you guys off with how to make the dungeons. Like I said, you could trade villagers for them to get the different items. But I'm going to show you guys how to make one, place it on the ground, get to the dungeon, and the rest is in your hands. You'll find all sorts of crazy bosses in there, and even crazier drops, which I'll get into because they have different types of status effects and just gameplay effects that you'll see in a second here. Here we go. So we're flying over to here now. Boom, boom, landing down, and this is the chest here. So these are different types of dungeon keys. Some of them are works in progress, like the Beetles dungeon and the Sky dungeon and the Sugar's dungeon. But the Jelly dungeon key is not a work in progress. That works fully. And then to get through the rest of it, you're going to have to unlock Jelly Sentry keys and Jelly Boss keys throughout your adventures. And then from there, you can get all sorts of cool things from killing them. The drops from the different types of bosses and mobs that you can find there are Jelly King crowns, mysterious eggs, 2 different kinds of mysterious eggs, actually. They're just like the Ender Dragon egg. They don't do anything. They're just like literally trophies for having beaten it. You get the Jelly King Wong, the Jump Wand, and then boom, Chewing Gum Emblem, which, you ready for this? Get 20 different emblems to begin the end of the world. It's a work in progress, so that'll be added into the mod later. Also a special type of record you can get from it, the Honey Emblem, and yet another thing as well right here, as you can tell, it's one of the different emblems. All these are different emblems that you need to quote-unquote end the world. It's basically how you are supposedly going to beat the mod when it's fully finished. Next up, we have a Sugar Pill, which has no effect yet. Same thing, work in progress. Secret record, and another secret record. So, the way that you spawn this in is simple. You take the key, right-click it on the ground, and boom, the dungeon opens. When you right-click and go inside, regardless if you're in creative mode or survival mode, you can't break anything. Notice how when you break in creative mode, it just respawns. That's how it is, and you have to go through tons of different crazy tasks, like fighting off a bunch of mobs, whether they be jumping around like mint jellies like this, or you can even get to different areas that have parkour parts to them. So, it's pretty difficult. You have to be a jack of all trades, really, to beat it. But that's it, everybody. That's all we have time for. I hope you enjoyed this mod showcase. If you did, please smash that like button. Be sure to comment down below and suggest what you want to see in the future for mod showcases. And have an awesome day, everybody. Thanks for watching.